Hi everybody, Vida here along with Brandon Coppin from Thrifty Chic Home. You can find him on YouTube. Of course, we're also going to put a link below, and you can find us on Fix This. We have our YouTube as well with more than 100 things on it for you to do around the house. But today we are talking about succulent wreaths. I went and looked online and saw these little teeny tiny succulent wreaths, which are trending for about $100, and you can make your own for a whole lot less. But what's great about it is Valentine's Day is coming up, so it'd be a good gift,
perfect gift,
birthday gift, or even just around your home for someone who doesn't really have the time to take care of a lot of plants, but you still have that kind of live. You feel like you're a part of nature inside your home. So you're going to show us there's some different ways you can do this. Make these succulent wreaths, and then after we make the wreaths, or while we're making the wreaths, you can answer some questions about succulents. So
that's right. So think about your succulent questions and
give us your succulent questions. Also, too, will you let us know why do you think succulents are so popular right now? You think that's part of it? It's just they're easy.
They're easy. You get a lot of bang for your buck if you think about it. And they grow pretty quickly, and you can divide them. I'm sorry, they don't grow. They grow slow. That's why people love them. They grow slowly, and you can divide them very easily, and they root on their own. They're just this magical plant. And then even in the summertime, you can put them outside on your patio, and they're happy out there.
And
so
then
they're very
you
versatile.
say keep them inside in the winter, but definitely put them where the sun is. You want them by the sun.
Exactly.
In the
they want lots of light. You don't necessarily want them in like hot, direct sun in the window, but just put them where they get tons of bright light near. Yeah.
So don't put them where like it's baking them. You don't want to bake them.
Don't want to bake them.
Okay. So let's talk about the succulent wreaths. What I came across, there's a variety. You found these, which are really neat, where you can actually stick them through. We're going to take the moss.
It's made specifically for making a succulent wreath, and you can find these at garden centers. We got this one at Tagawa Garden Center.
Is this the back of it right
That's
here?
That's the back, yeah. You
so
just
this is going to
this.
put the back on, and see how neat and full this is going to look when you're done with it. Another one is to find like a wreath like this. I had one left over from the holidays. You know, most of them you can get really inexpensive just from a craft store, and you can get it without all the additives. But we were thinking it'd be kind of cool just to put, you know, a few succulents in this area. And these are really inexpensive. We are going to work on making a heart succulent wreath. We're going to kind of, show you a little bit today, but I'm going to make this next week for Fix This. And you get two of these. This is one side. There's another side. These were like $2 at Walmart. Really inexpensive.
Good deal.
Do you know where that other one went?
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay, and they have round ones too. And you get the two sides, and you put them together, and then you're going to wire them shut. So you're going to get a similar effect like this. It's less expensive. This seems a little bigger and just more full. And this one's a little more expensive, though, right?
It is, yeah. That's about in the $20 range.
Okay. And they just have, you can get just really creative with these, which I love. And
I've seen the chicken wire ones, too. They have, it's like a chicken wire frame where it has little holes like this,
I saw, that's the one I was telling you about that I saw at Walmart. And I don't remember the price on it. It was more expensive than this.
I think they're like in the $4 or $5 range. They're not that bad, and you can even get them pre-filled with sphagnum moss.
Okay, and we're having a debate about the sphagnum moss.
Yeah,
pronounce it.
I think sphagnum, but I know people have their own ways of pronouncing, potato kind of thing.
Exactly. Let us know if we're saying it wrong or you have a different way. But we've heard it multiple ways, so we were having kind of that little potato debate.
Yeah.
But you definitely want your moss. Do you have the bag to show?
I do. Yes.
Okay. So get your moss. Get your sphagnum moss. Also, other fillers. Like this. I got this little moss fairy kit at Hobby Lobby. I used a coupon for half off. They had something very similar for actually cheaper at Walmart in a bag. So you can go with just that and your succulents, or you can go and just get some other moss.
Yeah, you can fill the spaces between the succulents if you have some room. Just put that in and you can fill it up.
And create a little more color.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is that with that moss, you really want to wet it.
You want to soak it,
Soak it.
That way, when you put the succulents in, you kind of minimize the shock, and you help them to create roots. Because what we're going to be doing is cutting pieces from the succulents and putting them in the moss, and they're going to root on their own.
Love it. Okay, so you want to start first. Do you want to start first with this one?
Let's
do this
let's
one.
do that.
And then I will do the wire ones for Fix This for next week. So that'll be on our YouTube channel, as well as it'll be in our article. So you can really find different ways. Because my whole thought process is, I just think this is going to be fun to create one for Valentine's Day. From a family. I just think that's cute.
Oh yeah, that's a really thoughtful gift.
And my poor little.
So I guess we could talk about supplies.
Okay.
So we talked about the sphagnum moss. And then you're going to need a bowl. You're going to fill it with water, and you want to soak your moss. It soaks up the water really quickly.
And
it's
you
like a
filled
sponge.
it all the way full. And how long do you soak it for?
Just like a minute or so, because it's like a sponge, so it soaks up the water really quickly.
You don't have to let it sit for a while? Okay.
No, just a few minutes. And then you're going to need your wreath form, and then you're going to need succulents. So what we're doing, though, is we've gotten these larger succulents, and we're going to cut pieces off, and we're going to put them in, instead of trying to get the little tiny ones.
That might be more cost effective, because you got, I think you got those at Tagawa.
Yep.
I got these little ones I found them at Walmart. In the garden center, and these were $2, but I went to Home Depot and they were having a sale right now, and these were $2.50 each for these bigger ones. So this is, but definitely smaller than that. But how much do those cost about?
These are in the $4 or $5 range.
So, but you can get a lot of mileage from that.
Yeah, and then you can even buy a large one in like a big pot, and then you can get tons from that. And those are in like the $15, $20
Okay,
range.
so you could it could be more cost effective, because like we were talking about, the ones that you see, just Google it, look online, those wreaths that you see, you can't tell how small they are, but some of them are small and they're like $100. So you could make this probably for less than half.
Yeah.
Maybe even in the $25 range if you went the full wire route. So
that's right.
And if you got one or two of those, and you don't have to fill it all the way in. You can just do like a small area and fill the rest in with the sphagnum moss.
Yeah.
You can fill it in with the other moss.
You do asymmetrical too, like we were looking at a wreath earlier, where it was like a twig wreath, and they just filled in a small part on the bottom.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, like the video was saying, it doesn't have to be the whole wreath. It just has to look like you planned it out, and you purposefully are filling it a certain way.
But what a great gift, and what a great way to, just at your house to have something kind of just decorating around the house. Okay, so sure, let's get us going.
Okay, so I've got some plastic out here because it's going to get a little messy.
All right, do you want me to pull this out, lay it out, or
actually,
you
I've
want
got
just
it. Yeah,
this?
let's do it like that, because
Okay.
that fills it up. Hopefully, we've got it totally in the shot there. So what we're going to do is we want to get this nice and packed full of our moss. So we're going to start doing that.
You want me to help you?
Yeah, if you want. It's a
Yeah,
little
watch
messy.
you? No, I'm kidding. I'm sitting here watching you. So it is, yeah. It is, and you know what's interesting? It does smell a little mossy.
It does.
Yeah.
Like a forest.
I do. I feel like I'm like in a forest up in the northwest.
I guess we can wring it out a little
Yeah,
bit there. I didn't realize that it would be
So wet.
Yeah. It's funny the things you learn as you
go and you create.
Yep.
Well, and we were talking about different ways to make these, because looking online, I saw that you need some, when you plant your succulents, that you need the little planting powder. Get the root out and get the planting
rooting
powder.
hormone.
Yeah, but you're saying
You don't really need it. I mean, you could have some that don't make it, but then you just pluck them out and and you can replace them. But succulents don't generally need rooting hormone to root. They root pretty easily.
Really? So do you need to grab a little bit of the root? You need a little bit of the root showing, but you said you just cut them off. Yeah,
you just and I'll demonstrate, but yeah, you just cut a tip off and then you put it in, and then it just grows its own new set of roots.
That's incredible.
And then you can keep it cut back. You don't have to let them get too big. You just keep them nice and trimmed. So we're filling this really full.
Okay, keep filling.
But I think we're getting.
Because you got your back, you're going to actually have to.
Yeah, we're gonna compress it down, because we want it to be we don't want to leave any air pockets, because if we put a succulent in and there's an air pocket, it won't be able to grab on and grow roots.
Okay.
But I think we're getting there.
You think that's it? More?
Yeah, maybe a teeny bit.
Alrighty.
But I think we're getting there. Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. So then we're gonna get the backing on here. So it's attached with screws. So we just have to find where.
I'm gonna show. Yeah, I try to pack around them. So here's one.
Nice.
Go.
And I'll screw that in here. Now, like we were saying earlier, you can buy some wire forms that come pre-filled with moss.
And you know what? I should have picked that one up, because it really was cute. But we can maybe we can show you in. Is it going in?
Quite grab.
No,
Here
I
we
think
go.
I put it in the wrong spot for you.
There we go.
I can go out and try to find that one and show you that one for Fix This next weekend on our.
Yeah, there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's always good to have a planting buddy.
That's right.
Help you out.
It's more fun that way, too.
Well, and I think this is great, too, for kids, because I really think, it's fun to teach the kids how you know,
how life works, how things grow,
and
to care
education.
for things. You can teach them that they need to take care of it, and you know, it gives them some responsibility. It gives them something to do.
Yep.
It's great.
Okay, so we have it filled. Now you see a little bit of it sticking out. Do I want to poke some out? What do I want to do?
We're going to leave it like that, and then what we're going to do, let's...
Can I move mine?
Yeah, let's get that out of the way. I kept dipping my tie in it earlier, so I took my tie off because I kept getting it wet.
You need to have like a special like tie guard that you can wear while you're doing this.
Okay, so let's show. So we're going to take one of these succulents out here. And then we're going to show how this is done.
Show us how to trim it, because then we're going to show both ways. We're going to show you how, if you go and you buy the full ones. Okay, this one's $7.99, but there's a ton on here. You could probably do most of your wreath with just this.
Yeah, and you can buy, like I was saying earlier, they have like ones that are $15 or $16 or even up to $20, but they're huge. Like jade plants.
Well, it can be multi-purpose too. You could use part of it and then use part of it for your wreath.
Yep. Okay, so what you're going to want to do, you need to leave enough of the stem so that it can go down into the moss.
Okay.
So we're going to just probably do like an inch or so.
All right.
And we want to get all these branches. Just think about where you're cutting it and why you're cutting it there, and just think, okay, well, I've got these branches. I kind of want to include all of those. So I'm going to cut this guy back down to here.
Okay.
And it's better to cut off extra because you can always snip away, but you can't add to it if it's too short.
Now tell me, is this going to grow back, or is it just going to grow in another area? So this is going to grow back.
What it'll do, don't throw it away, because if you leave a few leaves on it, it's going to grow again.
That's
so you could make more wreaths, or you can fill in this one more if you don't get it all the way filled in. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove the bottom few leaves, because when we put this in, those leaves will get in the way.
And you want that extension in there so it can root inside.
Exactly, and it might be too long. We'll find out in a second here, but we've got that little spot.
You said it's better to cut back.
Yeah,
so.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to just kind of make it a little easier to get it in there. And we're going to put that inside.
That's so cute.
Now it's a little bit too long. A little long, but we're going to trim it back. So we're going to lose maybe one of the branches here, but it just is definitely...
Oh, there's a baby branch. Actually, you can get two out of this one. This one has another little one.
Yeah, you could poke that in somewhere else.
That we can poke in right next to it.
We're going to take off one of these. Okay, let's do that, and then get this in here. Now, if you're leaving this like down... Let's do a little more. If you're leaving this...
Oh, you know what we could do? Let's use this.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I'll make a really good hole for you.
And there's two different ways to display this wreath. You can either leave it on a table like this and put like a vase, so it can be like a centerpiece.
You know what,
which is really nice.
That. Yes.
Or you can hang it up on a door. Now, if you're just leaving it on the table, then you don't really have to secure these because they're going to grow roots. They're going to be fine. So you can just leave them in like this. Now, if you are going to display it up on a wall, you're going to need to use pins so that it stays in.
Okay. Show us how to do that.
So that you're going to get these floral pins, and you can get these at a craft store. And then we're just going to we're going to put it around the stem. You want to get it probably, you want to be really delicate with this.
Yeah, you don't want to poke through
don't
it.
Poke
Definitely
through it.
Don't want it to kind of damage your poor little
And then you just want to try to get it down inside so that it
And let's do this, let's turn it this way so they can see it this way. And I'm going to see if she's able to, oh, we lost her cow. She's zooming in. All right.
It's a delicate process, and it's going to take you a little bit of time, but this way, when you hold the wreath up, it won't fall out.
Got it. And on the wire ones, you can also use some wire floral, you know, floral wire.
Which I brought this to show too. You can wrap the succulents around and you can poke them in. So it just depends on what you...
There you go, and it's holding it in there. And that's great. And again, you didn't disrupt that. And now I've got this little one right here. You can find another spot for it. You can put it right next to it. But kind of the same. So we're really getting good use out of this, which is exciting. I get really excited over little things.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like so excited.
And I've gotten some different varieties here of succulents. I wanted to show like kind of a whole like range of colors and leaf textures.
Oh wow.
So we've got larger, we've got smaller. So we could show this one next.
So I'm putting this little one in here, and then I'm just popping it in. And see how that just stays right in there like that? Isn't that cute?
Right. So now let's show, so this one we can actually get several cuttings from this plant.
Okay.
So we're just going to cut at the leaf nodes. So we're going to cut right here. Let's move this out of the way.
While you do that, I'm going to run step over to...
Okay.
We're Raquel is going to help us out, and then she's going to come join us shortly. I'm excited.
So cut that below leaf node, and we're going to get several out of this. Like I'm going to cut this on several levels so we can get all those different ones. So I'm going to do this.
Asked you to repeat where you got that ring.
Oh, I got that at Tagawa Gardens, but you can get it at a garden center.
And also, this one, I got these for a lot less. These were about $2.50 each, and you're supposed to get 2 sides and then wire them shut, but you can make your other for a little less money. So really, it kind of depends on what you want from your wreath.
Yeah. So we could show this method too. So you have these little floral stakes, and you've got wires attached to them. So you can take this and you can wire it around the stem. Just really depends on whatever method you're comfortable with.
And it might even depend a little bit on like your wreath. Like for the wire, you're going to want to get some floral. For that wire wreath, you're going to want to get some floral wire.
That's right. And you're going to want to work them together here.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so it really, as you're making this and as it's developing, it just gets really exciting because you're like, ooh, look at it.
We're already so excited.
Yeah.
We're even more excited.
Right?
Okay, so I got this. So just the little one that I got. We got all of this from that one just cut. Now I'm sticking that in, and here it sticks out.
And just make sure that the tip of the succulent is definitely making contact with the peat moss or with the sphagnum moss, because that's where it's going to get its where its moisture from, and it's going to grow its roots.
So again, you do not need the roots on this. And Brandon says definitely might not need rooting powder. Some people might feel more comfortable with that.
Yeah,
that's fine, but they're pretty
most
hardy.
of your succulents will do just fine without rooting powder.
Okay. Look at that.
It's looking pretty cool.
It is looking good. I love that.
It takes some time. You're going to have to set aside,
this is
a little
like
bit
a
of
whole
time.
party thing. Do we want to take any of these over here? The ones
Yeah,
that
let's show the smaller one.
Okay, so really small ones here. Do you want to grab a bigger one, a smaller one? What do you want to do?
Let's do the small one here, and let's show that. These are really cute. So you said you got these at...
So these little ones I just found at the Walmart Garden Center. They're just starting to put out stuff, but it was in like a little hidden corner. $2 each. But bang for the buck, these are regularly out at Home Depot. Where are these regularly? Like maybe 3 something. They were on sale through February 6th for $2.50.
Nice.
So I just wanted to get a variety and just try to see. But let's do the little ones, because the little ones seem to do pretty good. So I'm going to pop this out and have you take over.
All right.
From there. Come out.
So probably what we're going to want to do is...
Look how cute this is, like little baby.
That's so cute.
Little baby.
It's like dollhouse.
Dollhouse. I know I need for my dollhouse.
Okay, so we're going to very delicately try to get most of this soil off of here, because we really just want to free up the roots so we can get them inside this new medium here. So delicately, and you can do this in the sink too. Actually, it's a really good way, because then you run the water over the roots,
yeah,
and
so
they
make sure you always get your roots wet.
Yeah, that and this, it just washes the soil right away in the sink, so it's really nice.
Okay.
So we're doing it a different way here though. Okay.
I'm gonna pour water over it.
A
little bit of water. Here, let me get your moss.
Maybe a teeny bit.
So we've got our...
Oh yeah, there we go. Let's just
we'll dip it in here.
Dip it in here.
There you go. Get it wet. There, and that really helps it also too, where you can get the dirt off of it.
So we've gotten most of the soil, and
doing it in a hole
roots.
like this too. That way you get all the dirt in one area.
That's right. It's a little tricky with how small these holes are here, but it looks like it'll be okay because it's got a large enough footprint. So we're taking the pin and we're putting it just through the plant somewhere so you can secure it, and we're going to gently squeeze
and
very
you really
gently.
Have your roots in there.
And then we're going to pin that. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. And then we're probably going to use...
Oh, here, let me create a hole for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So pull that out. So Brandon had mentioned earlier, and especially on this one, you're going to need a pretty big hole. I'm going to create a huge, that way he can just get it straight down in there, and then it'll collapse around it.
Perfect. Oh, yeah, that's much better. And you're going to do a little damage to them. They're going to lose a couple of leaves, but it's okay because they will resprout. Don't worry. He's probably, there he is.
So cute. Okay. Do you want to do
Yeah,
another
he'll lose
one?
a couple leaves. Yeah, let's do a different
one.
one.
Do you want to do for a different kind? Do you want to do one of yours?
Yeah, we could show, so these are really cute, these little rosette ones.
Those are the bigger ones, so those were the Home Depot ones.
So we're gonna cut these here.
Okay. You're gonna come, you want to take them out and get the roots, so let you.
Well, they're
separate
really
them?
tall. Yeah, actually, why don't we do that? Because they're small and we don't have that many small ones.
Okay.
And then while you're doing that, I'm
I'll
gonna
do
show
this,
how we
break
can
it
cut
apart.
another layer of this guy.
Okay. So really, I mean, I seem to be like nervous about the root system, but you're not. You're just like, let's just cut it, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, you know, and the result is sometimes they die, but usually they don't.
Okay.
And you know, you learn along the way, but it's just, you know, it saves time. And I think plants are a little tougher than we give them credit for. Usually we kill them by overwatering them.
I think that would be me, or underwatering. That would be me also. Okay.
And we'll talk about how to water this guy
Here we go.
when we're
Yeah, I want to
towards
know
the
how
end
to
here.
water it, and we get these all wet and washed.
So I've cut another level of this guy,
Okay.
and we're going to put him in here. And like I said earlier, you don't necessarily need these pins if the wreath is just going to sit as a centerpiece on a table.
Okay.
But if you're going to hang it on a door or something, then you
want
want to
to do
make sure
that.
they're secured. When they grow roots, they'll be fine, but initially, you know, they may not stay in there until they grow their roots. And then try to hide the pins. All right. Okay.
All right.
So we got those out.
Okay, I
That's
got
so
those
cute.
out, and I wet them down for you, and I'll work
Alright.
on one while you work on with the other.
Okay, so I'm
How's
gonna
that
make a
sound?
nice little spot here. So we're gonna put this one like maybe right over in here.
Yeah. And what's really neat, I noticed with these succulents, is they all sometimes have a different hue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some kind of carry a purpley color, so you can kind of create a really neat looking.
Yeah, I've seen like a rainbow one where so I couldn't find enough colors to do that.
Yeah.
But where they start with like kind of one color and they, you know, go through like a rainbow. It's really pretty. If you go on
Yes.
Pinterest, you can find a lot of good examples
yeah.
of succulent wreaths. That one looks really cool in there.
That's so pretty. Okay, so I'm over here too. Is that a good spot, or do you want to?
That's perfect.
Do you want me to stick it over here so we get a? We can put
yeah,
some
I guess
moss
you
around.
may as well show what it looks like when it's really full.
Really full. Okay. Or we could put moss over there. It's really up to you. What are your thoughts? Let's do sideways. Because if you really want to fill it in with succulents, this is
Yeah.
a way. This is a one to do it on. If you want to fill it more of the moss, less succulents, you get the wire one, and then that one's going to be.
Or the twig one too. You can do
Yes,
that on
yes. That's going to be the way you do it. And this one's really embedded nice.
that. Nice.
There you go. That got in there really nice. Okay. So see how it's starting to really fill in. And if you want, we could get some just of the regular moss. What colors do you want on those?
I like the green.
You want this green or
Yeah.
the? Okay.
I like that green looks nice.
So some of this, and you could probably just do regular moss, the regular moss that you're working with inside too, to keep it really moist. Now, do you want to wire those in too? Or just,
No, you know those should
just kind of work around it.
yeah.
But look at that.
they should stay in as long as they're tucked into the succulents.
Okay, tuck that one in. Do you want this one?
Already looking so cool. Isn't
I
it?
know, it really is.
Yeah, and this is nice too because it hides some of the black
Yeah.
plastic, even though it would mostly be hidden by succulents.
Oh, I do have a little. And so, you know, here is also too. Here's some other moss. That's why I like these like little moss kits.
Yeah.
Is there, you know, like a variety which could add that color. You could break up your color with that.
I wonder if we could squeeze some in to hide that middle.
I bet we could.
Maybe.
Right there. And
You always want to hide the construction pieces. So let's take this guy.
You keep working. Oh, one other thing I got, and these are really easy to find and cheap, is just some, like, these are little fake flowers. You could probably
Yeah,
take
just
a
some,
little glue gun or just work that in there as well if you want to add a little color to it. And then those are fake, so not gonna die.
So you don't have to worry about keeping them.
And they're not expensive. You can just they fall off of any other
Cute that little one
fake
is.
ones. Oh, do that one. Yeah.
Cute little rosette.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Let's make a little spot maybe right here. Okay. He's gonna be tricky. Maybe I'll do.
The little wires.
I'm gonna do this little wire,
attachments.
yeah, because he doesn't. Not really any place to.
Oh, that's cute.
This will give us a little extra on the stem here, so we can try and get it secured in there. They're very delicate,
Yes.
so be careful.
And while we're doing this, while we're filling it in, why don't you answer some questions about how to take care of your succulents? I'll keep working with you while you
sure.
fill us in.
So we had a few questions earlier. Somebody was asking about an edible succulent.
Okay.
And most of these you don't really want to eat, but there is one. It's called purslane.
Okay.
And you can grow it from seed or you can buy plants. It kind of grows like a weed in a lot of areas because it's just so easy to grow. But it's purslane, P-U-R-S-L-A-N-E, and easy to grow, and you can eat it. It's edible.
Oh.
You can put it in salads, and it's a succulent, edible succulent. The other question we had was how to repot an aloe vera.
Oh, I love aloe vera.
Yeah, it depends on how large you want it to get. If you want it to kind of stay the same size that it's been, then you want to kind of keep it in a smaller pot.
Okay.
So it just depends. If you want it to get really big, then you want to give it a lot of extra space for the roots to grow, and the plant will get larger as a result. Usually the stunted root growth causes the plant to stay smaller. But aloe vera is just like other succulents. You want to use this cactus growing mix, which we actually have some here. Cactus mix. You use that when you're repotting it, and you want to let it dry out between waterings and make sure that it has adequate drainage. And that's true for your care for other succulents as well. We talked about the 3 rules earlier, the 3 Ds.
Yes. That's
Drench.
I was going to ask you about those.
Yeah, the 3 Ds. Remember that with succulents. They're really easy to care for.
Okay.
You do drench,
Okay.
drain, and dry.
Okay.
Succulents are, they're desert plants. In deserts, you don't have these like occasional sprinklings of rain. You have like these monsoons, right? It floods the whole plain, and they get tons of water at once. So what they end up doing is they store their water in the leaves. That's why the leaves are like this, because they're storing their water in there.
Got it.
So you want to drench them really well, let them drain out, make sure they have drainage holes, and then let them dry out. And you'll know when they need to be watered if you touch the top of the surface of the soil and it's completely dry.
That's when you water?
That's when you know it's time to drench them.
And how long is that? Usually a week?
At my house, it's about a week. It sort of depends on how much sun you get in your house and other conditions like humidity and things like that. But for me, it usually works out to be about a week.
Okay.
And in the summer, it's a little more frequent because the temperatures in the house are warmer.
Okay, so when you drench it, you want to basically put it in your sink, right?
Put it in the sink and let the water run through it. Now, if you want to conserve water, you can put a bowl underneath and you can pour it through, and then you can use the water, pour it back into another container, and then water another succulent.
Okay. And then, so drench,
drain, dry.
Dry, let it dry. And then you take it out after how long and let it dry if you put it in a bowl? And where it's kind of like still on the bottom.
Just soak it really well, and I usually let mine sit in the sink so they can drain out pretty well for probably like an hour at least, and let water kind of trickle through, and then put it back where it was. But they always I put a little drip tray underneath mine because you don't want them to drain out everywhere.
Yeah, if not, it's just going to stay wet in the bowl. So.
Exactly. That looks great.
I know. Isn't this neat? This is that other one that I like. Here's what I love to do is because it takes so long when you go out looking for these things, there's so much research that goes into it. So going and finding these different succulents, and narrowing down, okay, what's the most cost effective, what's the best place to buy them, these came at the Home Depot, and then, like I said, they're $2.50 for all 3 of those. You got those for $8, but those are that could fill in half the or a quarter of the thing.
Yep. When you're cutting little pieces off, you can get a lot more.
I'm gonna pull out, and it's okay to pull out some of the roots, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because this guy's having a hard time going in.
Yeah, it's okay to pull out some of the roots because you know how since we're cutting the tips off anyway, they're kind of used to regrowing some of their own roots, so they don't really mind it if you mess a lot with their root systems.
So that one's it. So look at that. See how that's starting to fill in?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Right there.
And then what we can do is we can take a lower one, and we can put the lower one right here, so we can fill in some of that empty space, or we can put moss in there.
Or we can put that moss in. I feel like that, or even that same moss that we used in the middle, that sphagnum moss.
Sphagnum. No, I'm saying it wrong too. Sphagnum.
We don't know what to call it. If
Sphagnum,
let us know, because we have our ideas.
Right.
But see, look at that right there. And then as you build around, then you could start adding. Let's say we want to do a different color. start
Yeah, it all
adding
depends on the color scheme you're going for.
some of this.
Have fun with it.
You can create like a effect, and it'll bring out different hues. See, I started adding this yellow right here, kind of a yellowy green.
Which might look really cool with one of these roses.
That's starting to bring out a little bit of that color, and that this green's bringing out more of the green.
Let's try putting one of
And
these
he's going to
near
put
that.
one over there.
So like we were saying earlier, just make sure you leave enough of the stem so that it can get inside the moss and it can start to grow some roots.
And if your moss isn't sticking, then just do the same thing. Take that wire or take this and just kind of work it in. Like I said, for Fix This next week, I'm going to show you how to use the wire ones with the wire, kind of like the floral wire. So see how I just took that and I stuck that moss in? And that's a good way, if you are going to be hanging it up, just to keep it from falling out with your moss. Okay, there, that does help. This really does help with the moss. Keeping it in, and kind of it almost helps it settle it, like so it looks a little prettier, I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a hole here. All right, there we go.
And we were saying earlier, don't be afraid to cut these back when they start to grow and they get too big.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to cut them back, and you can cut a
That right
piece off and put it in. If you have an empty hole or you have one that died, just cut a piece off of another one and just keep filling it in. All right, so we'll put this one. Maybe we'll get this one like right down in here. That would look really pretty. Looks really nice with the.
Oh yeah, and see how that's starting, the moss and the different colors of the moss are starting to bring out different colors in the succulents.
Succulents. Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and then adding even just like a little light teeny flower brings out a different hue. So I'll keep, you want me to keep adding the light right there?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'll keep adding the light.
And then, so we can talk about watering this.
Please do.
Once you're all finished and it's ready to go, you've already soaked the sheet moss really well, so it's going to be good for a little while.
Okay.
But then I think it'll probably work out to be nearly a week before it'll need to be watered again.
And how do you know in this, because this is different than
This is tricky.
than the soil.
This is tricky. You're going to want to leave a small part open that you can look at and touch, and you can get your finger in there and just see. And check it. And if it feels like it's drying out. I mean, you want to let it dry out a little bit, but not too much. It's going to be a little bit of a trial and error, with this guy.
That is.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Then you're going to take it, put the whole thing in your sink, and just soak it really well, like we were saying earlier. Just drench it. Let it get nice and soaked, for a few minutes. And then let it dry out and put it back where it was.
Did this one have a those?
Yeah.
You want to try those? Those are those are the bigger version of this. So. Raquel, do we have any additional questions?
We sure do. I'll be right over.
Come on over, Raquel. Join us with our succulent wreath party that we're having over here. I'll pull out some of this other green right here.
Now, if you want, when you're cutting these leaves off, you can actually root these leaves. Succulents will root from these leaves.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Oh, wow.
Some people take eggshells.
Okay.
Those half-broken eggshells, and they fill them with a little bit of soil, and then they put these in, and they do end up growing roots. It's pretty amazing.
I'm going to peek at it. So Candace doesn't like this pink flower, but I promise in person it looks really cute.
Yes, Candace,
I promise it
Candace,
works.
we will lose a pink flower. How do you like that? That's the beauty about it. You can do whatever you want, because this isn't real, and I can just come in and out. If you want that added color. But at Candace, we love you, so we're taking
just
it
for
out.
you, Candace.
And to start off with, too, people have been recommending some great local florists that sell succulents. So I'd like you to keep shouting out where you like to shop that on here, and we'll like it. We'll give it a shout out too. Our first question is from Patrick, and he actually wants to eat succulents, so he wants to know which ones you can digest raw right off the plant, and he doesn't care about the level of care.
That's going to be purslane. You can start it from seed. You can also buy plants, and I was saying earlier, it kind of grows like a weed, so it's really easy to grow. So care-wise, it's super easy. But purslane, P-U-R-S-L-A-N-E.
And then we have a question. Evelyn wants to know how to repot her aloe vera.
Oh, actually, Yeah, we went over that earlier.
Oh, great.
Yeah, yeah.
We
So
touched on
yeah,
that.
we got her.
So you can go back and watch it. And then, you know what, my grandmother, she used to always grow aloe vera, and she would cut the aloe vera, because it's good for burns, it's good for skin, but she would cut the aloe vera, and she would actually suck the aloe vera out inside, because there are people who drink, no, there are people who drink aloe vera. I probably should go Google that, make sure, but she lived to 97, so I'm assuming it's not poisonous.
It must have worked.
Worked out for her. Amber is asking which succulents do best outdoors and can thrive in a vegetable garden.
I mean, that's a tough question because so many succulents will do well outdoors. I can't really think of a lot that won't. In fact, you just have to give them the right conditions. They don't want a ton of hot direct sun, so I put mine in a spot on my patio where they get really bright indirect light. In vegetable garden, it's tricky because a vegetable garden, you want a lot of bright direct sun to grow vegetables. You don't really want a spot that just gets bright light. So I don't think I would grow them with vegetables necessarily. The only exception is purslane, which is the edible one I was talking about earlier. That's an edible succulent, and that does need a lot of sunlight, direct sun.
So have that out with your vegetable
Yeah,
garden.
but otherwise I would put your succulents maybe on your patio in a spot where it's nice and warm and they get really bright light, but not like hot baking sun all day.
We're not burning them up.
Some can handle sun, like there's a few varieties that can handle and they like the sun, but others don't. So you just make sure you pay attention to the kind of succulent it is and what it'll tell you on the tag what its light needs are.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go filter out some more questions and I'll let you guys finish that, and I'll zoom back in for anyone who is watching.
All right.
All right, so obviously this is going to be a long process, but to see how he keeps building the succulents, adding those in, and then I'm just going in and filling in with moss around it. And again, you could just use the same moss that you use inside. I'm going to wrap some of that.
We'll just show how that's.
Can you give Manny a shout out? Just say hi, Manny.
Hi, Manny.
Manny, shout out.
Thanks for watching.
Any tips for caring for a jade plant?
Jade is another succulent, so you're going to want to follow the 3 Ds. Succulent. Drench.
Belen, join us with our succulents.
Belen's walking by.
Oh, here we go. So here's some of that spectrum moss.
So we have
I
the
can't
3
pronounce.
Ds. We've got drench, drain, and dry, and that applies to jade plants as well.
And it's really nice.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
I make fun of them because the word succulent.
I know.
Succulent. It's kind of fun to say.
I added this fake flower earlier, and we got hate mail. I'm kidding.
Why?
Oh, just because it doesn't fit. You know, it's like. But if you want a little color, you can add it.
Probably because of all the really nice greens.
I don't think it looks really good on air, but it does look cute in person.
That looks nice. Way to go, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Belen.
Succulent.
Succulent.
All right, so there we put just some of the.
Elizabeth is asking, do you have to put moss on succulents, or is this just for the wreath?
This is just for the wreath. Usually, if you're growing succulents in pot, I mean, you probably could grow them in moss, but if you're growing succulents in pots, then you want to use this cactus mix. It's intended. It's like a really. It's a medium that drains really well, and it's intended for plants that like it in like desert conditions, like cactus and succulents.
And if you're asking about the moss, we're just adding additional moss on the outside, but you definitely, if you are putting it in a wreath holder, you're going to want to put the moss inside, because that's going to keep the moisture where the roots from the succulents can attach to. But look at that starting to fill in and look really nice.
And Sherry is asking if they can be hung outside in the summer, and do they need to be brought inside for the winter, or will they come back if you just leave them out in the winter?
That's a great question. Yes, they can be hung outside in the summer. Just don't put them anywhere where they're in direct sun, because that wreath will dry out really quickly.
Really fast.
But definitely bring them in when the nights start getting below 50. Start bringing them inside. If it gets below 40, then they could die. So just make sure you bring them in definitely before nights get below 40, which is usually in Colorado right around October, first part of October. But they will have to come inside because they'll freeze and die if you leave them out in the winter.
Okay, so see how I'm starting to add
Can you hold up the pin for someone that
Oh, yeah,
you're
sure.
using? Just kind of hold it up close to the camera, please.
We're using that pin, and then we're also using these little stakes.
And they have like the little wire attached to it. Can you show
Yeah.
them again how that goes around them,
Yeah,
both
sure.
of them, while I start putting this in here? if you can you get a close-up shot of his hands where he can show them how to wrap the succulents?
How to wrap the stem. Yeah. And you can get these at any craft store, any floral store sells them. So we'll show, here, let's take a piece off of this guy, and then we'll do this one.
And if you want to grab one of these small ones, you certainly can too. So.
All right, so we're going to show this stem. So this just gives you a little extra to work with when you're getting it in the wreath, and it'll help it stay a little better if you're going to hang the wreath up. So let's show this. Sorry, I'm blocking you there.
Nope, you're good. I think she's...
So we're going to put it on the edge here, and then we're going to take this wire, and we're going to hold, with one hand, we're going to hold the succulent and the stake, and we're just going to wrap it around like this. So then we end up with this really nice wrapped stem here. And just make sure when you put it inside the wreath that you get that this part
Why don't you put one in
touches
for
the,
us?
yeah, let's do that.
So we're going to do this again. We're going to make a hole right here. See how I've layered the moss? And so you have, you know, you could fill the whole thing in with succulents, or right here I did the lower moss and then I put the top kind of a different color on top of it, and now he's just going to add some more succulents. But you could, if you want to save money, just fill the rest in with moss here.
That's right.
If you want to go all out, you can fill the whole thing in.
Yeah, and it's not a one and done thing. Like Vida was saying, you can put a few here and there, and then as they grow, you cut them and you put them in the missing spots, so they can grow their own.
That's an effective cost, you know, like cost alternative. So
nice,
look how pretty that is.
And the nice thing about attaching these is that you can get some leverage by pressing down on these, and you don't have to disturb the succulent too much when you're pressing it inside the medium there.
Now show him again how we did it a little earlier, but he's going to show you up close, if we can, how he wraps that around. Do you want one of these little ones, or do you want to keep going with this one? These are cute. Well,
those are really fragile, so why don't we
let's grab one of these. Do you want one of the small ones again, or do you want...
Ooh, let's do this one.
This one's very unique.
Yeah, we haven't done that
this one and this is, again, we were talking about kind of the variety of colors. So, you know, and cameras can be deceiving, but like you can just get all different types and colors. Succulents. Here you go for that. Oh, I think you'll want to take this one out, right? And then this one I think breaks off into 3 parts.
Oh, nice.
So
you get 3 plants in one.
Yay! And then, like you said, they'll grow. So even if you don't have a lot of succulents right now, I'm gonna dip these in the water for you.
All right. So Vida's dipping the root ball in water so we can get rid of the
soil. Here you go.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's take, I wonder if that one's going to be too, oh, that should be good. Okay, so we're taking this pin, it's a floral pin, and we're going to put it around the stem somewhere. Probably you want to leave like an inch or so, depending on the size of your wreath. And then we're going to gently, very gently bend it so that it makes kind of this cross, so that it'll kind of hold it in place. Now it doesn't have to be really tight, because really you just want it to hold on. You don't want it to like get too tight, so got that. And then we're going to put this in. So you got to tuck in the metal and then the root as well. So it's kind of hard to see, but yeah, maybe that. There we go. And then just press the pin in.
And gently maneuver her. And then now I'm going to put this one in. Should I put like right next to it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I did that with the other one. To me, those, depending on which one you use, it's good to have both, because some work really well. I feel like these work really great at holding down the moss, and then with some of the succulents, I feel like putting your succulents in, these work great with actually putting them in.
Yep.
But see how that's popping up?
Can you ask me to show how the moss is attached?
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
So I'm gonna show you. I'm putting the moss in. Let me grab the paper.
So initially we filled the form with moss, but what we're doing now is we're kind of tucking the moss in around the succulents that we've already put in there. But then it looks like you touch these with the pins.
So I just this moss, this sphagnum moss, we wet down, and I just squeezed it out, and now I'm going to stick this. I find that these work really good. Just go under it right here, and just create just like little pockets, and just take one of these and attach them. Okay, I'm gonna find the hole though. There we go. And then it really just kind of fits in like that. And then now I can put some more, I'm gonna put like a little, maybe a bit of a different color on that side. So we've got these extra little, this moss that I got, like I said, at Hobby Lobby, where I saw it at Walmart, in this little fairy kit. And you can just attach those the same way. I'm gonna get another big piece of this sphagnum moss and then attach it over.
Erin asked, would you recommend cutting your succulents beforehand and letting them scar over?
No, because then if you do that...
Will you repeat the question?
Yeah, oh god, good.
No worries, no worries.
So somebody was asking if you should cut them beforehand and let them kind of scar over. But what we want them to do is we want them to grow roots. So it's best if we cut them and then get them into the moss as soon as possible.
Got it.
And that way they'll have it's more likely that they're going to sprout roots if they do that. It's a good question.
That is a good question.
And Eldon says thank you for doing this because usually this is an ignored plant. So
succulents, yeah,
they are so popular right now. That's why we're doing this, because people are really, I think, realizing their value. Mm-hmm. They're the undervalued.
The red-headed stepchild.
Yes.
But we love them.
We do. We're making them fun and hip. So see, I've put that other layer of moss on top of that. And there you go. So now I'm creating different levels. I even have this kit, we've got white, kind of like a whiter grayish color. But look at how that's really kind of coming together. And it's not all succulents. So you don't have to go crazy on spending money on succulents. And like Brandon said, start out small as they grow, then start filling in further. Mm-hmm. And there you go.
Grow your own wreath.
Yeah. All right. Any more questions? I think we're getting close to.
Yep, I think so, because we got a live interview about to happen over there.
Okay, we got a live interview, so we got to wrap this up. But here you go. Once again, this is just how half of it looks. If you want to get crazy like me, you can add a little bit of color here and there with these little fake flowers. You don't have to. Again, it's all really personal. I just like the greens. I think it just looks really pretty with the greens.
The monochromatic.
Some people are asking if you'll post the finished wreath. They really want to see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
and some people miss some spots, so I'm telling them that either you or Brandon will go back and answer their questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we will go there. We went through a whole bunch of stuff, so you can start watching from the beginning if you're just checking in right now, or send us some questions and we'll get back to you with those. We will definitely post this completed at the end, but I do want to let you know we're going to continue our series. I am going to this week start building these wire ones to show you how these are. This one you said, how much was this? Like
about $20.
$20 for this base. These were about like $2.50 each, and you need 2 of them to sandwich on the other side. I'm going to show you how to make a Valentine's one. So this is a maybe less expensive alternative, but for this you're going to need obviously kind of the wires to put them in. You can tuck them in with the wires or just get some regular floral wire, and then you're going to sandwich them together. But I'm going to have that for you next, I think, Saturday at 8:15 on 9 News, as well as we'll post it on our
I love
YouTube.
this heart one. That's perfect for Valentine's Day gift.
Yeah, and I feel like people, especially for Valentine's Day, there's always that chocolate and flowers. This is flowers, but with a whole new twist. And flowers are really expensive, so this will kind of last for a while. So we're going to show you how to do that. Just check back on our 9news.com/fixthis page, and we'll have all of that for you, along with tips that you did on Proctor's Garden today on how to care for your succulents. So we'll just keep the conversation going with you.